Record.
No. So we should expect pretty much a full week of lecture this next week as well. And then as we head into week 3, then we're going to start moving more towards a lecture lab type of environment where we'll have 1 or 2 days of lecture each week with 1 or 2 days of lab time each week to work on the projects. The final project I'm anticipating requiring essentially all week to complete. So we'll be in here working on that assignment to get it done because it is a rather, and not necessarily a big project, but it takes a while to iron out all of the little wrinkles and stuff in it. So. Okay, so if you go to your robotics class, you should have this front page. Does everyone, I didn't actually verify that you guys are seeing my web page. Yep. Okay, good. Then under the lecture archive, of course, the first lecture, we just had the PDF. The second lecture, we have a separate page set up. And underneath here, you have the links as well as the lecture notes included. So this will be available each day if you guys do happen to go camping or something cool, you know, maybe Bahamas or whatever you can afford. You can just keep up with lectures by coming here and watching the videos. So, anyhow, keep in mind again that I am the person producing these, so guarantee there's not going to be any cool special effects or probably even high quality audio included with this. You're pretty much stuck with my voice, you know, my mannerisms. No rehearsal because, of course, I put together my notes in my office, but I don't necessarily go through and, you know, practice all my lame jokes. So, okay, so how do I focus now? I'm supposed to do auto. It's trying to focus. So it's doing, you guys remember from last quarter when we were doing the high pass algorithm? It's actually doing a sweep right now. You guys can come up and see this if you're interested. But it's doing a search right now looking for those rapid edge transitions. So it's trying to maximize the edge transition by passing it through a high pass algorithm to look for the high pass image, if you will. So maybe what I ought to do is,
when it finds that, is that what it's doing to sharpen the image? When it finds the edge?
yeah, so what it's doing here is it's looking at that edge, which I should be, oops, that's not very smooth. So it's going from a transition that might look like that. And what it's doing is it's trying to maximize the amplitude of that edge transition. So if you look at this, this is actually just, how do I want to phrase this? This is actually just componentizing the video. What I mean by that is essentially what we're trying to do is get away from a spectrum and get to a single Fourier coefficient. Right, because if we get it to this, just this spike, then we've identified a single frequency, and that's what we're after, right? We're trying to get the best focus we can, therefore we're trying to get to the point where we're allowing only a single frequency through, rather than a wide band of frequencies. That makes sense? So, totally irrelevant for this class. All I need to do Oh, look at that, it can focus now. Kind of. Okay, so we'll go with that. Okay, so we have, of course, a warm-up problem that we're getting to 10 minutes into the class. I'll toss the warm-up up and then I'll put the objectives on the board. So our warm-up is to determine the angle of separation jeez. How would you like to have been my third grade teacher that was trying to get me to spell it correctly? Okay, so our vector u is going to look like this. It's going to have magnitudes 3, 4, and 1. And our vector b is going to look like this, which is 9, 2, and -3. And I intentionally picked these so that they weren't close to 0 degrees or close to 90 degrees as we saw yesterday. So today is the 25th, and not August but June. Okay, so we're going to finish reviewing our linear algebra that we need. And remember, this isn't intended to replace your linear algebra class that you should be taking. It's only intended to get you to the point where we can work through the material that we're going to need in this class. So there's a heck of a lot more to this stuff than what I'm throwing up on the board here. So, and then we're going to introduce frame references. And, well, I'll just say frames and transformations. Okay? So I'll give you just a minute or so. I'll make sure that the thing is still focusing well here. And then, no, it's not. What the heck? Why is it not liking that? Maybe what I ought to do is just turn it off.